All right, I've got a quick one for you. Here is a quick interview with Jen Henson, and I met Jen out at Montgomery High School when I was speaking there years ago. And since then, she's left the school and she works on her own now. She has an amazing business, and she really is like the ACT guru. Like when it comes to adding points to a score, she's got the whole thing figured out. And I used to think that like whatever a kid's score was, that's kind of it's not really a test you can prepare for. Let me tell you something, man. She's got the secret sauce to raising ACT scores. And listen, like you'll hear in the interview, I mean, some of these results are just astounding, like on the verge of unbelievable if I didn't actually see the printout of the scores before and after myself. And so check it out. Let me warn you, I'm trying to figure this online recording interview thing out, and I'm trying to get the right software. And we start out, there's some delay, and the picture's kind of pixelated. She sounds amazing, but it's hard to hear me. So like when I talk, you might have to lean in a little bit to try to get what I'm saying. And then, but check it out. She's amazing. I'm going to tag her on this video in case you want to get in touch with her. You got a kid that needs to get into a college, or an athlete looking for a scholarship. She's the one. Look her up. Here you go.
Okay. It's recording.
Yeah.
It's working. I can see it.
Live. Check it.
Woo!
Couple of technology whiz kids right there.
Basically, we should just open a technology like a geek squad, basically.
I think this is kind of like NASA. That's what I'm thinking.
Why are you always funnier than anybody else?
All right, let's get to it. So here's what I want to talk to you about. My kid is a junior, and so, the college conversation is happening regularly. And kids are taking tests and SATs and PSATs a couple years ago, and I'm seeing ACT scores, and then so I'm always paying attention to your stuff. And so when you post stuff like that, and you have one of your kids that you work with that gets like a 28 or something, and then the next time they have even like more points. Like, what's the secret to all that? Is there like, are you giving them information, or are you like, is it like strategies or understanding the test? What's the magic? What's the secret sauce?
Well, I think first of all, we're covering strategies because the test is a test that we have to beat. It doesn't change every month it's given. So there are things we can do to optimize their points. Then there's certain rules that they have to know. They have to absolutely know how to use certain punctuation marks. They have to know certain math formulas. I mean, there are just some skills that they have to conquer that they haven't really cared about before. Can you get by English class and not know how to use a semicolon or a colon? Absolutely. But you can't in order to optimize your ACT score. And so putting all those things together is what raises their score. And, I get asked all the time, how does your program differ from others? And quite frankly, as you know, being in education, the teacher is the number one factor in the classroom. And I can teach, and I care about that kid. I care about every kid as if they're my own.
Yeah.
So because I'm treating that kid like they're my own kid, I'm not going to let them fail. I teach until that information is conquered, and then those results show up.
Yeah, man. I think the challenge is this with your gig is I see parents that have like bought like online things or like video series or some book or something, and then it didn't get any results, and so then they think, well, the kid's ACT score is what it is, and you really can't improve upon it. But I think, man, I think you're right. I think what it is having. I think that was like the old myth. But there are like certain people out there that really have this thing figured out and really can raise scores.
Yes, and those, I mean, I think being a classroom teacher for 22 years certainly gave me skills that maybe certainly a video program doesn't have, because you can't ask a video program a question. I mean, even if there's a live chat, who are you live chatting with, and how are you, if you're a teenager, how are you going to, or any age, how are you putting a question, how are you changing that to type that into a question on live chat to say, I don't understand the difference between a dependent variable or dependent clause and an independent clause. If you don't even know what you don't know. So, you know, having a live teacher that I can read their face to say, you don't know, you have no idea what I'm talking about right now. Oh yeah, you're right, I don't. Okay, cool. Then let me say it a different way, or tell me where I lost you. And that just isn't happening with a video program or a book.
No, like, I know everyone has ever taken, like, gone to college. At some point, you've had that feeling like, I have no idea what he's talking about, and I don't even know what to ask. Like, I can remember philosophy or something like that on the first day and thinking, oh my God, like, I don't even know what he's saying. And so, and I think you're right, man. Like, that whole systematic thing they have in place, video programs, online stuff, just, I mean, I can't imagine a kid really having tremendous results from those things. But here's the thing, let me ask with you is, like, don't give me your all-star home run scores, but like, give me an idea of like an average kid that shows up, what's their score, and like if you're giving a set of parents and a kid some realistic expectations of what to, you know, think that they can accomplish, what would you tell them?
Really, the average is a little over 4 points composite growth, and that's really everybody. I mean, and I've seen that happen whether they start at a 21 or they start at a 26 or wherever they start. So, but I mean, in some kids, I mean, I've had my rock star kids up 12 points. I mean, how does that happen? I mean, that's crazy. But you know, that the average kid can expect, well, let's just say, for instance, with my English strategy alone, which I'm doing, I think you probably saw it this morning, just an English session. Yeah. Hey, here's this rock star strategy for English. It alone, 4 points English, just from doing this one thing that I show.
Really?
And kids in my class last year, you know, I would have a whole room full. I would show them this, and I'm like, I promise you it'll raise it 4 points. And they're like, whatever, you know, what do you know? Right. You're old. And then they would do a practice test using it. And I would say the next day, okay, how much did yours go up? 4. How much was yours? 4, 4, 5. Who was right?
Right, exactly.
Patting myself on the back.
Right. Yeah, you know, like, here's the thing. If I was just hearing about those results that you get with those kids, you know, it'd be, I don't know if I'd believe it, but when you post those screenshots of like the test scores before and after, it's insane. That stuff is just...
I wouldn't believe it either. I mean, like the kid this past month that went from a 25 to a 35 in English. Right. I promise he did.
Right.
I mean, his mom and I are still texting about it. I'm like, did they call and did they correct his score? Did he really only get a 27? No, he went from 25 to 35.
Yeah.
And that little knucklehead was in my class last year and he had improved from about a 20. And then only because it was in-state tuition versus out-of-state tuition.
Right.
At Auburn, let's get it done. Let's kick it into gear.
That's huge money that they're saving. I mean, just from out-of-state to in-state, I'm like, what's the financial difference? Tens of thousands of dollars.
Correct.
Unbelievable.
I wish I had kept track, because now I've been doing this for 8 years now. Yeah. I really wish I had kept a running total of the amount of money that these scores have created differences. It has to be millions.
Yeah, for sure. So 8 years, how many kids total would you guess between all of your classes, your individual help? I know you work with some kids in pairs. What would you guess? If you had to put like an estimate of all the kids you've worked with in terms of ACT, what would it be?
700.
Get out.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. All right. So if a parent wants to hire you, so they have a choice between like a class format or you could work with them in person, one-on-one, online, one-on-one. If they want to split it with another kid, their best friend or their sister or whatever, you can do that, right?
Correct.
All right, here's the big question. How much would it cost for a parent to hire you to dress up as the kid and actually go take the test for the kid?
My current price on that is $8 million.
Right.
So,
All right, is that
I mean,
negotiable at all?
and that's like, I want that in 10s and 20s, preferably. So, yeah.
Okay, cool. And then, all right, here's one last question. So if I remember right, in high school, college, you were an athlete, true?
Correct.
What was your sport?
Tennis.
That's not really a sport. That's a game. There's a difference.
I mean, it was either tennis or miniature golf.
Right.
So,
And so, thinking back all through junior high and high school and college, and think about all those coaches you had and instructors, and I'm sure you had all kinds of different coaches for different stuff. Who would you say is the absolutely most influential person of all?
of all the coaches I had,
Uh-huh.
it would be Mr. Bill West.
Mr. Bill, and so what was the deal? Like what age, what grade, what was the situation?
He was our high school tennis coach at Beaver Creek High School, Beaver Creek, Ohio, home of the Battling Beavers, mind you.
That's such an intimidating mascot.
It's fierce. He was a math teacher, and he was also the tennis coach. And he let me see tennis in a whole new light of strategy and like the geometry aspect of tennis that I hadn't ever seen before. And he could run numbers and like analogs in his head to figure out different strategies and pairs for doubles and things that were amazing and really helped me see the game in a new light.
Huh.
He was at my wedding reception, by the way.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. And is he still coaching? Is he retired?
I would assume he's retired, but I don't know that information. I still send his family my Christmas card.
Uh-huh.
So I assume he gets it. It has not come back.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. All right, cool. That was fun. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna figure out how to download this thing, and I'm gonna post it up on the interwebs for the world to see.
I love it.
You feel good about that?
I feel great about it. That was cool.
All right, you're late to go get your kid. Go pick her up.
I know. She's probably kidnapped by now.
That's CPS has him. Later.
Bye.